happy to start a new series today about one word in the Shabbos davening. We already discussed how davening changes from Maariv to Shacharit to Mincha in each and every Amida on Shabbos. However, if you make a mistake, the Shulchan Aruch paskins hatoe b'tfilat Shabbat v'hichlif shel zu b'zu eino chozer. If you make a mistake and say you daven the Shacharit Amida for Shabbos at Maariv, you don't have to fix it. Explains the Taz, the most important part is the common denominator in all the davenings, and that is the passage that starts with the words Elokenu v'elokei Avotenu, my God and the God of my forefathers, find favor in our rest on this holy day, and then we ask all the spiritual requests we ask of God. So since that passage is the deal breaker, and because of which you don't have to repeat your Amidah, I thought I would concentrate on one word that does change from Maariv to Shacharit, and according to some, even at Mincha. Says the Ben Ish Chai, Umifurash b'divrei Rabbeinu Ha'arizal, Va'arvit v'yanuchu va, in the feminine. B'Shacharit v'yanuchu vo, in the masculine. Ach b'mincha no infaresh klum, and according to him at Mincha, we don't know. So today we're going to talk about Maariv and Shacharit. Why is it at night it's in the feminine and in the morning it's in the masculine? Comes along the Orach and wants to understand how come in the beginning of Parshat Kedoshim it says Et Shabtotai Tishmoru, and guard my many Shabboses. Why is it that it's in the plural? And he comes along and says that the reason for this is based on the Zohar, Ki Shabtotai Yermos lelayla velayom, shebchinat layla eino shaveh lekdushat yom. The night of Shabbos is different than the day of Shabbos. Ki halayla hu bebchinat ora mityaches elav kala, v'hu bebchinat shamor. Based on the Zohar, the night is like a bride, feminine, and it's keneged the word shamoret yom Shabbat lekosho, guard the Shabbos, which is written in the Ten Commandments in Parshat Ve'et Chanan. V'hayom hu b'chinat or elyon hamityaches elav b'chinat chatan hamashpia be'or halayla ki yadua liyodeichen u'lezeh yityaches elav sachor. And the day is like a groom, which is like zachor. Remember the Sabbath day, which is in the Ten Commandments in Parshat Yitro. I don't know what he means. I am not a big bucky on Kabbalah, but the Natziv Mivolozhin, a true Litvak, the Rosh Yeshiva of the Yeshivas Volozhin, an amazing writer on the most esoteric books in Judaism, writes on the She'iltot that, in essence, he's right, but he doesn't prove it from the Zohar, he proves it from Psukim. B'yom HaShabbat shu b'lashon zachar. The day of Shabbos is masculine. Dushat Laila ubelashon nekeva, but the night is feminine, and therefore he says mikan yatsa haminhag lahafrish belashon hatfilah, and therefore we have the custom to make a distinction in our davening. Balayla v'yanuchu va in the feminine, uvayom v'yanuchu va in the masculine. From this perspective, whether you base it on the Zohar or whether you base it on Psukim, both the Natziv and the Orach agree. Night is feminine, v'yanuchu va. Day is masculine, v'yanuchu vo. The question is why? And here I'd like to quote the Shiurei Knesset Hagdola. This is a Perush on Shulchan on the Torah and on the Beit Joseph, written by Rav Chaim ben Abishti from Izmir. His year 1603 to 1673, and he explains, when you get into Shabbos, you're coming from a weekday to a holy day. It's still, as we say, new. It's very much, he says, Shebelel Shabbati kemal kala beveit avia. You're like a bride. Yeah, you're dating. Yeah, you may even found a husband, but you're still living in your parents' home. You're still living in the home of your father, and therefore, v'yanuchuva, you're still alone. You haven't changed residences yet. You're dating, maybe even you're dating steady. After all, Shabbos comes every week, but to go from the weekday with our phones and with our cars and whatnot into the holiness of Shabbos with none of that, it's still very, very fresh. In a word, when you come to davening Friday night and you say the words Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala again in the feminine, we need those 6 chapters of Tehillim prior in order to sort of transition us from the weekday into Shabbos. However, the Shacharit, after 12, 13 hours of celebrating Shabbos, of not touching your phone, of eating good meals, of sleeping probably longer than you usually do, this is already after you got married, you're in your in-laws' house, or to be more precise, you're in your new home with your groom. I changed residences. I'm now living in the home of my groom. Maybe I even changed my last name and I have a new last name like my groom. From this perspective, the night of Shabbos is still fresh. The day of Shabbos, you're already in. From this perspective, says the Kaf HaChaim, well, if that's the case in davening, let's change it in the Ritzei. Within the bracha of the Ritzei that we insert on Shabbos in the benching, we use the words Elanuach Bo, says the Kaf HaChaim, V'chen b'Ritzei v'chalitzenu sh'rebiver kasamazon, b'layla omrim ba, uvayom bo. So say v'yanuchu va at night, and say v'yanuchu vo during the day. I don't know anyone that does that, but definitely in the davening, I think it's pretty global. At night it says ba, in the day it says bo. What about at mincha? God willing, in the next episode.
Shabbos